What's up guys, Cloudie here checking in from the America server, and we have received the sneak peek for the first update for November today, along with a new episode of the developer talk, the communication, the kind of thing that Vespa had promised earlier. And there is some pretty interesting and exciting stuff in there, so let's just get to it, see what Vespa has in store for us. So first of all, of course, there is the continuation of Rebel Cloudie's story. It seems that it will continue after the events of chapter 10, so after he obtains the super powerful sword and how he becomes the rebel in the eyes of the goddess. Now, an important point to mention here that they say that the entry tickets for the special dungeon will not be reset and you will not be receiving additional ones, so it's still 1 ticket per day. So if you want to rush the content, you can store up 5 tickets. I believe that was the limit. So if you want to do it on day 1, then you will need to save up some. But this is what they say now, and they always mention in these notes that things can change, so be a bit cautious with that. But yeah, they are saying now that if you want to rush the content, you can store up tickets for it. Let's see, we have a few screenshots here showing Cloud, showing Scarlet and her protectors, Demia Chase. We can see Cloud's meeting Kara here, which is interesting. Of course, she's connected to the Technomagic Kingdom, so I was wondering why she wasn't there in chapter 10, but seems like we will get to see her now. So good for all of you Kara mains. Now, new content. There is new content here coming, and it's called Battlefield of Ordeals. Now, they mentioned that this is a PvP type of content where you will be able to battle against the battle data of other raiders who have participated in the League of Victory. So it seems like you will actually be fighting offline opponents, bots, who are modeled after the PvP teams of League of Victory players, and whether they are using the same skills too or not is a different question. So it's like PvP but not PvP. It's like, you know, offline PvP is not really PvP in my opinion. Fighting a bot is not PvP. Yeah, I mean, that's the new deal. I guess we will see how it works. There will be like different tiers, stages, sections, and ranking. And the selectable tiers will unlock based on your highest League of Victory tiers. So for instance, if you are a challenger, you can go up all the way to challenger. If you are in, say, platinum or diamond, then you cannot access the higher tiers, and so on and so on. Now, this sentence had me puzzled a bit for a while. I wasn't really sure what select a clear buff meant. I suppose what it means that as you clear these stages, you can choose a buff for yourself that will make your team stronger, so it gets easier to climb in these stages and tiers. You can see that there are several stages here on this screenshot, so that could be interesting, I guess. We'll see how it turns out, but this is promised for November, so we'll see how this goes. Let's see, balance adjustments. This is something we have been waiting for a long time, and 16 heroes have been selected for now. We can see Hilda, Shamila, Lilia, Whiska, Tanya, Theo, Kala, Miru, Reina, Roy, Lucia, Rodina, Scarlet, Nyx, Crow, Krisha. Now, that's an interesting bunch. A lot of PvP characters in that. Some of them giving me already nightmares, like Jesus, Scarlet, one shot to Scarlet. We'll see how this works out. Hilda deserves a buff. Shamila is very rare. Lilia is still there. Whiska is almost non-existent. Tanya, scary in PvP, not so much in PvE. Theo, yeah, he could use a buff. Kaula, probably Miruru, oh my god, PvP nightmares. Reina, Roy, Rodina, now those are single target physical buff PvE or physical damage dealer PvE characters. Lucia again, Scarlet, Nyx, PvP. Crow is interesting. Krisha. So yeah, it's interesting. That's an interesting bunch, and I can't help but notice that there are like 9 physical characters in there, which is a clear sign that Magic has the upper hand, right? That's why they need the buffs. Okay, sarcasm off. Let's see. We'll see how these turn out. Content and quality of life improvements, rewards and difficulties will be reworked for some content. League of Victory will get its rewards changed, which is interesting. They have just added unique treasures to it lately. And we get a new Raider rulebook, which is supposedly the monthly login rewards that you get as you keep logging in every day. They mentioned this in the developer note that they are changing that. And if you can hear the sounds in the background, that's my dog running around. Thank you. So yeah, monthly logins, login bonuses will be reworked. That's pretty nice. They are a bit outdated. There are also other stuff that could be reworked, like repositorium could really need a buff, or in terms of rewards. I just use it to like complete the weekly gear quest. And yeah, there is also the accumulated login rewards. For instance, my account is sold. I won't be getting any more of those, but I know that's not an issue for most people. But yeah, those are really outdated and could use a buff too. So maybe they will get around to that as well at some point. Difficulty changes, Trial of the Sky. They mentioned a bit more of this in the developer talk. Devour, Shockme, and sub-story changes. Okay. I don't know if Devour Shockme needs a nerf. Maybe. Possibly, yeah. Sub-story, again, I'm not sure what this is, but okay, maybe some of them were too hard. Maybe they are just fixing some stuff there. Okay, added material, dungeon, central neighborhood dungeon, deranged eater. So this is the dungeon that you can unlock for rubies, and it's with where Talisha is in Orwell. And they are adding an eater option, which is curious. So you can spend stamina and some rubies to farm eaters. Now I wonder what kind of drop rate it has and what kind of eaters you can get. For me personally, the biggest issue is blue eaters. I'm not gonna lie. I have so many like 1 or A0 or A1 soul weapons that I just can't use because I do not have the blue eaters to raise those soul weapons. So if they add the farm option for that, I'll be all over it, especially because I have run into a new block with Technomagic gear, and I'm gonna talk about that in the developer piece because yeah, it's connected to that. Now the other is Piece of Memory episode Sarah, so I guess this is the Sarah special dungeon which introduced the Shockmate content. I guess she will be added there, and either you can get some unique gear for her or you can get her through that. I assume that since Pansy wasn't in her own special dungeon after the release, just some gear for her, it's probably the same for Sarah, so you still need to get her through the inn or through rubies, but you will be able to get her unique gear from that. So not too bad, a one-time 20k stamina probably. Let's see, quality of life improvements, reduction in item crafting times. Okay, that's probably Stone of Infinity because that's the only thing that really takes long, I guess. And increasing the limit on the Tower of Challenge tickets. That's nice that it's not just 5 of them, because sometimes you just really can't log in to clear them, and then you are not being efficient with them. And changed how soul stones will be shown upon soul judgment. Okay. Alright, okay. Curious. Now they are also making some changes to the client. Also, they do note that these will not be added to the APK file, just to the mobile devices, which is interesting. And they're saying that if you are playing on a lower hardware device, then and if you choose the low settings, then some of these cartoon shader effects will be turned off by default. Also, you can still turn them on. And yeah, they also mentioned this in the developer talk, that they are going to try and improve on the client, which really needs improvement, because especially on emulators, I've heard that it's just super unstable. Mine sometimes crashes like every 5 minutes, and yeah, it's annoying, especially when you crash in like Eclipse and stuff like that. So not fun. But okay, let's move on to the developer talk, where they talk about the stuff that the feedback and their communication regarding the feedback that they have been receiving. Of course, hero balancing is one of the top choices here that they have been receiving a lot of feedback about. Also, Technomagic gear is too difficult, inefficient. Yeah, I can talk about that. And that the game client is too large and is just not that well built. Now, regarding hero balancing, that they mentioned that the feedback they have been hearing is like there aren't enough useful heroes for Trial of the Sky, not Trail actually. Yeah, that's because they get utterly gutted melee DPS there by the one of the mechanics in the fight. Yes, I just said mechanics again. So maybe if they change that, then they wouldn't like lock out one of the classes from that specific fight and could use more heroes. Yeah, because AoE ranged archers and mechanics aren't that many that can be used. So yeah, that can use some changes. Too many places where melee dealers. I still don't know why they use the word dealer all the time. I like DPS so much. Meta dealer just sounds like something else. But anyway, so yeah, the melee is at a disadvantage. Yeah, I can agree to that because a lot of bosses have like cleave attacks that hit only in melee range, and it's really bad for melee players, while the ranged heroes are just standing in the back and not taking any damage or not getting dispelled and stunned and stuff like that. So yeah, that's true. And that older heroes are being replaced by new heroes and are becoming obsolete. Well, yeah, that is called power creep, and it's kind of part of gacha games, because if there aren't new and shiny heroes to replace your old ones, then you will never invest in them, and they kind of need some sort of revenue. So, yes and no, I'm on the fence on this. Like, it would be good if they weren't as left behind as they are, but there also needs to be some sort of power creep. Otherwise, they have to sell us some other weird stuff that will just break the game even more. But maybe that's just me. Now, my issue on the... Yeah, so they have mentioned 16 heroes here, and they want to give more updates and do this more regularly and stuff. Now again, they haven't mentioned Pension, and I know a lot of you think that I'm against Pension. I'm not. I'm just that for one, it would be good to know what Vespa thinks, whether they think she's fine the way she is and will not touch her, or if they actually plan to touch her in terms of balance. I mean. I ran into that one. Okay, because this is something they did with Cher, where Cher was like a little bit broken in her initial release, and a lot of people jumped on it and raised her to 5-star. This was before Soul Weapons, and she was like that for a whole year, and then suddenly Vespa came in and said, okay, we are nerfing Cher. And a lot of people got very frustrated and furious about that, because the character was out like that for a whole year, and that's when they just got there and rebalanced it. And it's the same with Pension. She has been out like for a year now, so if she gets balanced or nerfed now, then of course a lot of people who meanwhile went and invested in her will be upset. So it would be nice if Vespa actually just stated their intent here regarding her. To some degree, maybe Fallen Frey. I know a lot of people think that she's broken everywhere. I do believe she's mostly fine in PvE and could use a PvP nerf, but I know a lot of people will disagree with that. Whatever. So yeah, we'll see. They promise to give more frequent balance updates. Moving on, Technomagic gear is too difficult and efficient. So yeah, so they say that they need more data. Basically, this means that they just released it. They had an ID, they released it, and then we are testing it for them. Yeah, but they say that they understand and emphasize with the pressure you must be feeling. Okay, that's great. Now, so they are working on ways to make this process better, less RNG and stuff. Now, it's funny because I've been farming Technomagic gear for a long time. Ever since it came out during the events, my computer has been on day and night. I have farmed away hundreds of thousands of stamina. And it got to a point where, for instance, I have like a full wizard set now, and I've been hoarding my reforged tickets. And just the other day, I burnt like 300 of them to reform my wizard set and reforge my wizard set and half of my priest set. And you know what? I ran out of tickets, and I still have like not optimal stats. So guess what the new RNG will be after you get those lines that you want? It will be reforging the stat lines on them. So yeah, I was looking at the shop, and who would have guessed there is a big bundle with a lot of reforged tickets, and I would bet some serious money on it that it's one of the top seller items in the shop right now. So yeah, I think that will be the next block. If they fix the RNG with the skill lines, then it will be reforging stat lines that just has you blocked and incapable of progressing unless you have like rare levels of luck and just reroll everything in like 5 tries, or I don't know. But yeah, this is my opinion that it's really hard to reroll stat lines on those gears too. So yeah. Okay, so game client is too large and lacks too much. Well, okay, they say that they are still fighting memory leak issues, and that's causing all these disconnects and crashes, and they will try to fix this. Also, they say that because the battle is like, or the combat skills are too complicated, there is just too much processing power required, and that's why the fights lag. I would argue that this is not the issue. I'm running on an emulator which has some pretty beefy resources assigned to it, and like every time I start an arena battle, it just lags for a couple of seconds. I do not think that it's like the resources um, of the client or of the emulator that it has, that it just can't process enough. I would say that there is some fundamental issue with the code, but I'm not a developer, so I could be wrong about this. Anyway, they say that they will try to work this out and make improvements to it. We will see when this comes. Now, there are a few more extra points which they say before mid-December should be applied to the game, or they hope to do this, and some of these are pretty nice. First of all, they are doing the renewal of the monthly rulebook rewards. They promised this for November, so I guess we will see. Increased gold rewards for certain raids. Now I wonder which one these are. TM raids do not even get any gold right now, so maybe if they could add some to that, that would be real nice. You know, not getting gold from the one farming content or the one endgame farming content is kind of kicking the nuts there, so it would be nice if they could add that. Reworking the ether enhancement cost. Now, whether this just means ether gold costs or ether cost as well is a question. I would personally love if ether costs were a bit reduced, especially in the lower rankings, where, you know, just so you can like use those soul weapons and really get a bit of a bonus from them, unlike now where you maybe unleash a soul weapon and then never can increase it with ethers because you just do not have those ones. We'll see. They haven't released any more data. And the fourth option, now this one is curious: increasing the chance of obtaining a soul stone via soul judgment. You heard it, guys. More soul stones from soul judgment. Which means that it might be worth hoarding a little bit until the mid of December. I mean, this is November, early November. Now that still means like 1.5 months, and they may say that they will not be able to do this anyway. If you are not sitting on a large pile of protection of the God King, then this might be a good thing. Some might say that this is in preparation from A3. Some already have been saying that there are signs that the A3 will be implemented in the game soon. This could be another explanation for that they are increasing soulstone drop rates, so we won't be that frustrated when the new OP advancement levels come out. Could be. I don't see it as impossible, although we just received TM gear, and that was months and months after, almost a full year, or like maybe a full year after Soul's weapons were released. So maybe it would be too soon to receive to like give us a brand new level, but maybe not. I guess we will find out this year at the end of the year, so we'll see. And there are some other options they want to add: turbo battle and dispatch functions to Devour, Shakme, and raids. Yeah, like TM raids really could use dispatch functions, or not dispatch functions, turbo battle raids. And Devour Shakme is an interesting one, because at one point Vespa was saying that they understand that the game just takes up too much time, there is too much content to do, and they started cutting down on this. And then they introduced Devour Shakme, which is a 5 stages super long fight, which you have to like auto battle. You cannot control your heroes, and you need to sit there minutes and minutes just watch them do their stuff, which is completely going against the whole idea that they wanted to reduce the play time of the game. So yeah, I was a bit puzzled why they did that, and they seem to have received the message too. So we'll see, maybe we get dispatch functions for that, which will be interesting. And improving gear preset related lag issues. Yeah, so changing the gear presets can be a bit slow sometimes. Sometimes the client just crashes. So yeah, if they can update that. I would also add, or hopefully they will add, that the new teleport page is a bit laggy sometimes, especially when you open it. It takes like forever to load all the stuff, probably because they squeeze too much stuff in there, and it's like fetching all your keys and entries and whatever, so that takes time. It would be great if they could like optimize that a bit too. And that's it, guys. That's what we have learned from the patch notes and the developer notes. So yeah, curious. Some of this new stuff looks interesting. Quality of life changes, better farming for ethers, maybe for soul stones. All in all, it doesn't look too bad. It's good to hear that Vespa is trying. So yeah, hope to see some more stuff from them. In a week, we will get dispatched with the new cloud stuff, and then we get to learn more. So yeah, let me know in the comments what you guys think. I'm quite eager to see these improvements and stuff. And yeah, I guess we'll see in next week then. Until then, this has been Cloudie, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.